Pak Lukman, tes.
Okay, Bu.
Pak Lukman, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're audible and very clear.
Thank you.
Prof. Emi belum ada.
Sudah di ruang fakultas, Ibu.
Oke. Prof. Didi sudah ada juga. Alhamdulillah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Law.
Prof. Emi wajahnya agak naik sedikit. Nah,
Kursinya ini Pak. Kursinya.
Ibunya ngomong.
Oh, okay. Halo, halo.
how are you, Dr. Law?
Good morning. You're sorry because I picked her up late.
Okay, I think if everybody's here already.
We will start at 8:40.
Good morning, everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Greetings, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar with the theme Using Technology in the Language Classroom. So this webinar is held by Teflin West Java and Banten chapter in collaboration with Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. My name is Nika Yunita Muharam, and I'm excited to be your host for this event. First, I'd like to start off by expressing my thanks to all of you for taking the time to join us today, and your participation is greatly appreciated. We're so glad that you could be with us today, and we are grateful you have chosen to spend the time with us. Um, we promise to make this event worthwhile and provide valuable insights, sharing informative knowledge throughout the course of this webinar. So once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. We hope that you find this webinar both engaging and very informative. Before we start, I'd like to go over some important rules for today's webinar. Please ensure that you have a stable internet connection and are in a quiet environment to minimize background noise. And please use the chat feature to ask any questions you may have during the webinar. Keep all questions and comments respectful and relevant to the topic. Any inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated. And please note that today's webinar is being recorded for future references. And today's webinar topic revolves around the using of technology in language classroom. And the reason why this webinar is so relevant and valuable for us today, considering the advancement of digital technology in the field of education, especially with the launching of the generative AI in November last year, which certainly changes the way we do things. And hopefully we'll gain insights and takeaway that we can apply to our work and project. Before we start, I'd like to invite the head of Teflin West Java Banten chapter, Professor Nenden Sri Langkanawati, to deliver her opening remarks on this webinar. Professor Nenden, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Nika. The Honorable Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Professor Didi Sukyadi MA, the Honorable Head of the English Education Study Program, Professor Amy Emilia PhD, esteemed speaker Dr. Elizabeth Kai Lu Loh of University of Hong Kong, and Dr. Vinita Dewi of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. And also here we have our guest, Professor Dr. Maksham, all participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As the coordinator of Teflin West Java, Banten chapter, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you in this remarkable online webinar on using technology in the language classroom. It is truly an honor to have such distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and enthusiastic participants from across Indonesia join us for this important discussion. In today's rapidly evolving world, the role of technology in education cannot be overstated. The integration of technology into the language classroom has opened up new avenues for teaching and learning, transforming the way we engage with languages. As educators, It is our responsibility to adapt to these changes and harness the power of technology to provide our students with the best possible learning experience. We are particularly privileged to have with us today Professor Didi Sukyadi, the Vice Rector for Academic and Student Affairs of the Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, whose presence reflects the university's commitment to fostering excellence in education. We are also honored to have Professor Amy Emilia, the head of English Education Study Program, whose leadership has been instrumental in advancing language education. Thank you very much, Prof. Didi and Prof. Amy. Our esteemed speaker, Dr. Elizabeth Ka Yi Loh of University of Hong Kong and Dr. Vinita Dewi of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this webinar. Their insights and experiences will undoubtedly enrich our discussion on the transformative power of technology in language education. To all our participants, whether you are educators, researchers, students, or language enthusiasts, your active engagement in this webinar signifies your dedication to enhancing language education through the innovative use of technology. We value your contributions and look forward to the valuable insights and ideas you will share throughout this event. As we gather here today, let us remember that our collective pursuit of excellence in language education knows no bounds. Together, we aim to explore the endless possibilities that technology offers in shaping the future of knowledge, the future of language teaching and learning. So without further ado, let us embark on this enlightening journey into the world of using technology in language classroom. I wish you all an enriching and inspiring webinar ahead. Thank you, and let us begin our discussion. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Nenden Sri Lekanawati. Next, I would like to invite the Vice Rector for Education and Student Affairs of Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Professor Didi Sukyadi. Professor Didi, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ibu Nika. Can you hear my voice well? Yes, is that okay?
Yes, Pak.
Okay. The honorable speakers, Dr. Elizabeth Hayelo, the honorable speaker, Dr. Vinita Dewi, our visiting professors, Professor Mark Sham, and Professor Fuad Abdul Hamid, the coordinator of West Java Banten Teflin coordinator, Professor Nenden, head of the department, Professor Emilia, the secretary of the department, Dr. Rojab Siti Rodia, dear colleagues, participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to thank Ibu Nenden, also Ibu Emi, who have organized this event very well, and take this opportunity to share our ideas to all of our colleagues. And we are lucky at the moment because we have two visitors, Professor Mark Sham And Dr. Kayulo, welcome to Bandung, welcome to Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. The theme of this webinar is very important because technology has been around us for so many times, but although technology has advanced quite well, we are still facing some complicated problems in our daily lives as those in academia. For example, now we are doing the certification of our students, and the topic of the certification is in digital literacy. However, from 1,200 participants or students who have participated in the test, the pass rate is only around 50 to 60%. So we use a smartphone, we use technology, computer every day, but when we are being tested using certain standard, then not in fact it is not easy for all of us. We have also developed the MOOC system in our university, but so far we have only around 10 title in our MOOC, and it is very hard to invite and to encourage our faculty members to develop a certain topic, a certain skill, and put them into our MOOC system. So we do hope that in the very near future, we will have more and more faculty members joining the platform and can be used by all of our students to increase their skill, their perspective, their knowledge that may be useful when they have graduated and live in the community. We have also tried to provide some trainings to our faculty staff, especially in microlearning, and we have included all the faculty members' works into our learning management system. We have what we call integrated online learning management system, or SPOT or SPOT. But we see that not all faculty members take advantage of this system to organize teaching and learning processes that will encourage positive responses from our students. And at the moment, the government, through the policy of Merdeka Belajar and Kampus Merdeka, has encouraged our faculty members to refer to more participative and collaborative teaching and learning processes, whether through case method or project based. And it is a big challenge for us of how to integrate technology into this type of learning activities. So we do hope that with this webinar from the speakers, Dr. Kayulo and Dr. Vinita Devi, we can learn how to integrate technology into our teaching and learning process. So our classroom will be more participative, will be more collaborative, and will be more meaningful to our students. I know that the speaker, especially Ibu Vinita, is very skillful and knowledgeable in using technology, from something simple like Telegram, like WhatsApp, that for us, I use WhatsApp only for sending messages, but we believe that with the skillful hands, it will be much more useful, much more interesting. So don't follow my path, but follow Ibu Vinita's path, Ibu Vinita's skill and knowledge. So we have also so many platforms around us, and through this discussion, I believe that even though we still know little about technology, but if we can use them more effectively, we will get more benefit from it. So again, I believe that this webinar will be providing us a very high benefit and will change our teaching and learning style in the classroom. Thank you. Have a good webinar. Thank you to the speakers. Thank you to the organizing committee. Thank you to Ibu Nenden, Pak Puan, and everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Didi Sukyadi. Before we start, we would like to have a screen capture of everybody participating in today's webinar. If you please hold your camera on, if it's possible. We'd like to have a screen capture first. Okay.
Okay, there is 9 pages. Okay, the first one. 1, 2, 3. Second one. Third one. Fourth one. Fifth one. Sixth. Seventh one. Yes, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we shall start the first speaker by inviting Dr. Elizabeth Yaw. The session will be chaired by Professor Emmy Emelia.
You have to unmute yourself, Prof.
Good morning.
Emmy. Still muted.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are on.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Today, this morning, we will have a session from Dr. Elizabeth Kai Loh from Hong Kong University. So before I invite her to present her paper, I would like to introduce Dr. Elizabeth Kai Loh to you, especially regarding her academic background. Dr. Kai Loh graduated from City Hong Kong University in Bachelor of Social Work in 1994, and in 1995, postgraduate certificate in education, major in Chinese language and literature from the University of Hong Kong, and Master of Philosophy in Education, major in educational psychology, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and postgraduate diploma in psychology, City University of Hong Kong, and Doctor of Philosophy in Education, major in Chinese language education, the University of Hong Kong, and Master of Education, major in Chinese language and literature, the University of Hong Kong in 2012. Other degrees were in 2007, 2000, 1998. Okay, so academic position at the moment, Dr. Elizabeth Kai Loh is assistant professor in teacher education and learning leadership academic unit, Faculty of Education, the University of Hong Kong, and assistant professor also in Division of Chinese Language and Literature, Faculty of Education, the University of Hong Kong, and Teaching Consultant, Division of Chinese Language and Literature, Faculty of Education, the University of Hong Kong, and Assistant Professor, Center for Advancement of Chinese Language Education and Research, Faculty of Education, the University of Hong Kong, and research scholarships. She has done a lot of research scholarships, and at the moment she's also Vice Dean in knowledge, knowledge exchange, and she is also a CEO for a social enterprise. And Dr. Elizabeth Kayi has written a lot of works, including journals. I think she has written more than 120 something. So it is 23 pages. And she has also edited many books. And she has received a lot of research grants with fantastic amount of money and funds. So probably this has made Dr. Kayi very productive and also has written the results of her research. So I think probably that's all that I can tell you, because it is too long if I have to tell you all the information about her. And now I would like to invite you all to welcome Dr. Elizabeth Kayi Law to present her paper. So Dr. Law, please.
Good morning, distinguished professors and all the audience. It's my great honor to be here this morning at the Indonesia University of Education. So I want to thank Professor Emilia for your kind words, and also for the introduction of our host, and also my heartfelt thanks to Professor Lenkanawati, and also Professor Sukayati for your introduction. And this morning, I want to present the topic in using IT to facilitate Hong Kong ethnic minorities students learning Chinese as a second language. You may be curious why ethnic minorities in Hong Kong need to learn Chinese as a second language. First of all, I want to provide some background information to all of you. This is the data of the census conducted in 2021. So you can see there are about 300,000 of ethnic minority, excluding those domestic helpers, considering Hong Kong as the permanent residence. It makes up about 4% of the total population. Among this group, the majority is Filipino, Indian, Nepalese, and Pakistani. In fact, the number of ethnic minority population in Hong Kong increased 70% in 15 years. And this is the information that I can find, the most updated one from our Education Bureau, dated in 2019 and 2020. The ethnic minority student, this is what our Education Bureau named them as an NCS student, non-native Chinese speaking student, NCS students. In kindergarten, there are about 4.2%, and in primary 3.2% and 3.3% in secondary schools, and making up 3.4% of the Hong Kong student population. Based on the census data, over 50% of these ethnic minority groups people not able to read Chinese, and of course can't write Chinese. Why making Chinese so important to them? We need to know a little bit about the history. Is the impact of Hong Kong's return to Chinese sovereignty to the EM. Since Hong Kong returned to the China, Chinese and English are two official languages. So if students want to have higher education, better education prosperity, and job application like civil servant, they should have sufficient level of proficiency in Chinese and English languages. Because of this, things certainly change since 1997. Many EM were fired due to poor Chinese language proficiency. This is because in the British colonial time, Chinese is unimportant. They have good English, then they can be civil servants and have very good jobs and income. But since 1997, Chinese become very important. But if you learn a language, because we have a lot of language teachers here, we know learning language is not just taking a pill and you take one and you feel good tomorrow. It takes time to invest in language learning. Because of this, many of them got fired, and the children, due to the low Chinese language proficiency level and learning Chinese is so difficult, so they drop out much earlier. Because of this, many EM families are in poverty, and the poverty rate is higher than Hong Kong mean. So high dropout rate, EM students is 20%, compared with 0.34% of the Hong Kong students. Low tertiary education rate, only 10% of EM students are eligible to sit for the public exam before the end of the secondary school education. And among these 10%, only 27% of them are equivalent to go to tertiary education, compared with 56% of the overall Hong Kong candidates. Due to low education, they can only do some elementary work or being unemployed. This is why the poverty rate is so high, especially with families having children. Why learning Chinese language is so difficult for EM students? I'm not sure if you have the experience of learning Chinese. It is because there are two major writing systems in the world. One is phonological language. So English and Indonesian is one kind of the example. And the mother tongue of our EM students are also having phonological language background and also the family language. And I use English as an example. It is composed of 26 alphabets. And the connection between the shape and the sound is transparent. The word boundary is clear. Caricature is a language. We also use Cantonese and the traditional form, the full form in Hong Kong, as the medium of instruction, not Mandarin or the simplified form like in China and other parts in the world. Chinese language itself composed of 445 components, or you can say, considering the radicals, it comes up with 213. So the number is large, and the connection between the shape and the sound is unclear and no word boundaries. So they feel lost when they are reading a Chinese passage, don't know where to start and when to stop. My colleagues and I conducted quite a number of the research to find out how their learning process was like, and investigate what pedagogies can assist them, and so we also publish findings. So therefore, after testing many different pedagogies and methods, we created an e-learning platform and pedagogy called MLand. I want to show you a short video explaining what it is. So why it called MLand? The video is slow, sorry. Let me start again. Okay. We use mobile technology to assist learning, support multilingual learning, and for multimodal presentation. We hope to boost students' learning motivation and become the master of their own learning. So this is a flashcard idea. Students capture a photo from their surrounding related to the topic that they are learning. They audio record the pronunciation using the picture to represent the meaning and write the written form. Then they can submit to the cloud. Teachers can instantly check what the student has done, listen to the pronunciation, provide feedback in case there's any mistakes, and give feedback and encouragement to the student. And at the same time, the teacher can feature those high quality flashcards. Then the whole group can have a a set of the learning materials with written representation, the meaning, and also the audios. So we hope that no students will left behind by using good technology and also pedagogy. So this is the idea of MLAN. At the very beginning, we use this as a second language pedagogy and also want to provide a comprehensive digital second language teaching platform for teachers in Hong Kong. Students' learning motivation is what we want to increase the most, because as your teacher, you know, once students have the motivation, you can't stop them to that things that they are interested in being engaged in. So we want students to engage in second language learning and in a compounding learning experience, that they forgot Chinese language is so difficult and challenging. And another issue is they can speak Cantonese quite well, because this is for survival. However, they cannot memorize the written form and how to write the characters. So by using a flashcard, we want to make the meaning, the sound, and the form integrated instantly and all the time, so that they won't forget the written form and how to pronounce it correctly. And of course, remember the meaning, because meaning is for meaningful communication. When using technology, we want to make it to be effective in teaching and learning. Therefore, we need to consider two important factors. One is the affective factor, and the other is the cognitive one. For technology, whenever you use it, you will find students' motivation increase immediately. However, it may not really related to teaching and learning. Therefore, we need to carefully consider how to use technology. So we based on the learning motivation theory and the self-efficacy theory. And for the pedagogy, because the platform and the pedagogy is for language teaching and learning, so we consider the learning theory and various effective learning strategy, like including systemic functional linguistic and the genre-based pedagogy. So affective factors, we consider the self-determination theory, how effective learning can be cultivated, and also the expectancy value theory. So the learning task should not be too challenging. Otherwise, the cost would be too high and the student will give up. And for the pedagogy, we consider the second language acquisition theory and the mobile assisted language learning theory as the guiding principle and the framework for the design of the whole work that I'm going to introduce. By using the e-platform, we want teachers to have more interaction with the student. And the student themselves, we also want them to have collaborative learning opportunities and supporting each other. School can be a learning community for everyone, and everybody would have successful experience in the learning experience. We also want to connect the outside world, because for ethnic minorities in Hong Kong, if the learning content is not related to their daily living, they won't see the value. Why I'm sitting here wasting the time to learn something that I can't use in my real world. Therefore, we want to use technology, making a connection between the learning content, the students' own experience and creativity, and the outside world. That's why we created MLAN. This is the theory. Due to the limited of time, I will not go through all the details, but if you're interested in, I'm happy to share more details with you after the conference. Here, I want to share another video.
咁總括嚟講咧 ，MLAN 咧喺語言學習裏邊咧，對師生嚟講咧，都係一個好有效嘅
This is
學
the
習。
school principal who supported my work, and this is a mixed Thai and a British mix. He couldn't read and write a single Chinese character. When I first met him in secondary 2, he
其實
born
好
in
多時
Hong
候
Kong
咧，我
but
哋
cannot write a
好
single
難揾到
Chinese
啲
character.
適合嘅教材去教到佢哋。
成長嘅環境同埋學習過程裏面嘅挫折咧，係會令到非華裔學生比較容易失去學習嘅動力嘅。有啲人可能會覺得中文比較悶，或者好多抄寫嘅東西啦。咁但係其實如果用 MLAN 嘅話，可以更加多元化咯。
MLAN 令我覺得中文唔只係一個科目，而係同我嘅生活息息相關嘅。
咁其實咧 MLAN 嘅詞彙卡咧係對學生對於個語文嘅讀音啦、寫法啦同埋意義上嘅掌握咧係有好大嘅幫助。
佢哋唔係淨係喺個課室裏邊學，佢哋可以行出課室，佢哋可以影相。
例如我幫隻貓影張相，係先寫低佢嘅中文， 再錄音讀一次，最後寫低佢嘅英文翻譯，咁就完成咗一張詞彙卡啦。
我哋設計咗主題之後咧，學生就可以根據主題咧就自己設計一啲詞彙量。咁呢個部分咧係對學生嚟講個用處係最大嘅
動力會大啲，同埋佢會比較想做得好啲。
比起上堂舉手答問題，M-Learn 嘅學習方式令我覺得更加有趣，事物同之在。
使用 M-Learn 嘅時候咧，咁我哋老師除咗可以批改詞彙卡之外，仲可以表揚表現得比較好嘅學生。咁學生咧就可以睇到互相嘅表現啦，從而咧達到互相學習嘅效果。
同齊學習嗰個氣氛咧係非常之濃厚嘅。
咁我哋甚至乎可以喺數據嘅分析裏邊咧，去睇到學生嘅興趣啊、能力啊，咁呢方面咧都幫我哋係跟住落嚟，我哋喺教學上面可以一路作調整。
老師同埋同學嘅肯定，我知道我係有能力做得到。見到自己一直慢慢進步，原來過往係中文付出嘅時間同努力都係值得嘅。
The Kyle, the boy that you saw in the video, after using M-Learn for 1 year, he can write a complete Chinese composition himself. So this is very encouraging. Here I want to share a bit about the data about the learning effect. So we analyze the M-Learn card created by the students, the content, and compare with traditional textbook teaching. 60% of the content created by the students are from their own learning. I think this is very important because we cannot hold the students' hand forever. They need to learn how to walk their way and how to be an independent and lifelong learner. So this is important. And we also using this pedagogy for both. Now we use it for both language as first and second languages learning to remove the language barrier, because language should be a tool to assist them to learn other subjects. And we also increase students' learning potential by 60% and no students left behind, because teachers found it easy to take care of individuals, learners' learning needs, and to increase the learning benefits and lower the language barrier and become active in the whole learning process. And this is another historical data. We can compare the experimental group performance and control group by reading. After using M-Learn for 1 year, experimental group increased 17.2%. However, for control group, it dropped nearly 20%. For writing, it increased more significantly for 26.8%. Compared with the control group, it dropped 21%. And for listening and speaking, it also increased significantly. And if you look at the control group data, only speaking increased for 7.5%. Even during the pandemic, date back to 2019, when everybody were unprepared to do online teaching and learning and lack of devices, for teachers who insist using M-Learn to facilitate teaching and learning, students' learning outcomes still increased 20%. The learning attitudes, the motivation increased 37%. And the teachers' confidence that they believe they can teach the student to acquire the second language increased 36%. So we believe this is quite successful in some sense. How M-Learn works in a school classroom to bring teachers and students paradigm shift. This is the model that my colleagues and I developed later on. At the beginning, we need to identify the expected writing outcome, because for language teaching, the end product should be writing a composition. So we need to identify what expected learning outcomes that we want to have, identify the key features and all the learning components, break them down into small learning steps. Then the second part is to tailor-make the assessment task, not really assessment task, but the exercise for our students by using M-Learn. Then step 3, we come into the classroom teaching to design the teaching and learning activities for the students, to adjust the teaching text, because we use textbook and many ethnic minority students are learning with the Chinese counterpart. So the learning text quite long and quite challenging. And we also decompose the genre of the text. So teacher know how to ask questions, how to guide the student to acquire the key component, and then using MLAN to assist teaching and learning, using the e-learning platform to check how they learn and support them, scaffold them to go to the final learning outcome. So this is the way we do right now, and not only in English and Chinese as a second language, but as first language and English as second language as well. So the teacher teaches the textbook. Sometimes we would also use VR, AR to make the learning content more vivid to the students, because the places that the textbook describe, they may never been there before, so they don't know what it's talking about and feel not interested in reading it. And then we designed the exercise by step. We call it a 4-level 3-step teaching cycle, starting from vocabulary learning, then to the end is passage composition. I will tell you more details about this teaching cycle later on. But here, we can do some differentiated exercise for the student. And at the same time, we do the, I borrow the economic concepts, which is crowdsourcing. We crowdsourcing students' knowledge and talents by using our platform. So they create a card with the interesting idea, daily experience, and so we collect the knowledge and wisdom. And by creating the card, which also reflect the life experiences, then the teacher can check and provide written and or oral feedback. If pronunciation is incorrect, teacher can audio record and provide the correct example for the student for amendment. And teacher can also share those high quality cards. This is like the share economy. So good practices will share among the group. So everybody would have a co-constructed learning resource bank to support advanced learning. So if we just stop on the top, which is the teaching of the textbook test, it is like closed curriculum. But if we use this whole teaching cycle, we extended the learning content and let students to become an active learner. So when teaching textbook, we use AR, VR. We now also using a newly launched function is using generative AI to provide instant feedback for students on their written work. And then we also collect the data, making it as a student's personal learning, e-learning portfolio, and to trace the learning outcomes from time to time. And we also automatically generate the feature cards, that the cards with high quality for matching game to drill the student, but in an interesting and funny way, an exciting way. So this is the whole teaching process that we do in each unit. Okay, this is the 4-level 3-step teaching cycle. Because Chinese language is quite challenging to the students. So on the left-hand side, we provide examples based on the teaching objectives and also the textbook. Of course, the exam syllabus, because we want our students to be good in Chinese language, but we also want them to have good academic performance so they can have a better education opportunities. Therefore, the example is like the exam syllabus. However, once we provide the example, we want the student to practice it immediately. At the beginning, you can see we number it. For number starting from 1, it means the vocabulary level, vocabulary related learning exercise. 2 means related to sentences. 3 paragraph and 4 passages. So this is 4 levels. And for the steps, the first step is student do some recitation to read aloud, the vocabulary, the sentence, and sentence imitate, and the paragraph, etc. But starting from step 2, we ask students to start having some output. If they cannot collect data by themselves, at least we want them to replicate what the teacher provided. Those are very good and high quality example, from vocabulary to sentence, paragraph, etc. However, for step 3, this is what we really want our students to do, is for autonomous learning. Every time each unit we have a theme, we have a topic, then students take photo from their living related to the topic, and then to create their own MLAN card. starting by vocabulary. Then we provide sentence pattern. They put all the required component already there, like a supermarket, MLAN like a supermarket, that they can pick different kind of language component to make up a sentence. And then once they can create a sentence, we provide a picture. They use the speaking Chinese to describe the picture, and then the teacher assists them to rewrite it as a written form. So they suddenly found that writing a paragraph is not that difficult. We provide them, or we ask them to collect 3 to 4 pictures and describe each pictures. Then it become a passage. So they suddenly found that writing is easy and writing is enjoyable. So this is like a scaffolding process, helping students to starting from the smallest learning component and then building it up to the end goal, which is a whole composition. And for students, they have different level of proficiency. Instead, the teacher is not necessary to go through all the steps. They can skip some step if the students are already good in some part. We borrow the idea of the reading to learn teaching cycle, so which is very inspiring, and we also need to learn from each other's good work. So we leave this to our students as well. So this is how it like. The teacher teaches the student. For example, we have 6 students in our class. So teacher give them a topic. Oh, you observe what you have at your home. Then the teacher go home and then create their own pictures. So different students may have different idea. Then the teacher check at crowd sourcing. Those created good MLAN card teacher can share with all the parties. So everybody not only have their own cards, but also have others a good example in the hand and also in the mobile phone. So this is a co-constructed online resource bank, which is easy. No need to upload and download and copy and send to each student. Therefore, the school curriculum, the text that we all learn is still the same. However, by designing the tailor-made exercise, teacher can cater for students' individual learning difficulties, and they can learn on their own pace. Because every time teacher asks the student to create at least 3 cards, many times they create more than that, much more than that, because they want to excel their talents, their creativity, and they found this is like a game, not really like exercise, so they really enjoy doing it. And then the student can have their individualized learning materials, and yet teacher can share among each other. Then everybody can have others the wisdom to support their advanced learning. We also borrow the idea of phenomenography. When students need to learn a knowledge well, they need to identify, discern the critical features. Using sentence pattern as an example, the sentence pattern would be invariant. But the student need to know that once I change the content, then I can share different ideas with others. So I can always using this sentence pattern to write different kind of sentences to convey my idea. So these are the real example collected from our student. They can tell different kind of attraction, like Hong Kong Cultural Center and the International Financial Centers, tell where the place located and what people can do in these places. So the student can have a more comprehensive understanding of the content and the knowledge that they are learning. And this is the gamification we apply. Some teachers prefer paper and pencil game. So the student check all those features card, collect those they like, write a copy on the bingo worksheet. So the teacher can control the level of difficulties and how many people can bingo. So everything under teacher's control. But if teacher wants student to do some exercise after class, the teacher can easily a few click and then can create this kind of automatically created this matching exercise. It can be the pronunciation matching with the meaning or the written form. This is to overcome students' challenges for not able to connect the written form, the meaning, and the pronunciation, and to make the learning more consolidating and sustainable. But this is fun, although it is still drilling, but children like to play it very much, even secondary school students. Okay, so therefore we want to use, we believe information technology can help us to reimagine and reshape the education ecosystem for the future. So the student contribute the learning content, teacher reuse the content to support their advanced learning, and then we collect the data during the whole learning process, and the data inform teacher for further teaching and to inform the teaching design. Here are other examples how MLAN is used in other subjects. Like English during the pandemic time, students using MLAN to tell English story. And for vocabulary learning, and they also introduce the restaurant they went, learning opposite adjectives. And we also ask students to tell their personal growing experience. For example, this student said, "I couldn't comb my hair when I was 3 years old. Now I could comb my hair when I was 6 years old now." So teacher also teach this kind of sentence pattern, but the teaching, but the student integrated this with their own personal experience, making it more interesting. For Chinese, the teacher also used the platform to help students review the vocabulary, and the student was very lovely. After the audio recording, all the text exam content, and he said, "Teacher, I don't know why the volume of my audio recording is not large enough. It was not like this before." So this is not just for teaching and learning, and also for the communication between the teacher and the student, making it more personalized. And the teachers can always tell something to comfort the student and to encourage them to work better. And this is another example. The project work, teacher asked the student to read a storybook which introduced the Chinese myths and to tell the character that they like the most. You see, the student already write a whole passage. This is not asking the student to write a composition, but because they like what the task the teacher designed for them, so they unhelp but write a whole passage. I believe this is beautiful because you didn't ask, but the student, they are motivated to do more and to do better. I think this is the beauty of education as well. Teacher also use it to teach mathematics because we don't know how, most of the students do not know how to do the calculation, and teacher do not have sufficient time to check everybody's work. So the teacher asks students to write the formula, how they come up with the answer, with the formula and also the audio recording to explain the ideas. Then the teacher can check one by one. A good example can also share among the group to assist the others. Teacher also used to this platform to ask students explain what does 8 times 3/4 means. Quite challenges to many primary school students. For general study, for primary 1 student, teacher asked students to write a family tree and to tell who's in the family as an ice-breaking exercise. And for another general study, the teacher asked students to explain, take a photo to explain the movement level, including the high, medium, and low levels, and the number of fulcrum points for balance. So you see the kids are so lovely. They do exercise at home and take photo and to explain what the teacher want them to do. So this is not just the learning of the content, but applying it in their daily living. And teacher also asked students to explain what it means. The characteristic of air is that air is as untouchable as a ghost. So you see, students are very creative. And teacher also asked a student to read newspaper, to pick one that they found interesting. So this student picked a newspaper, news which is about more than 30 wild bulls chase a taxi on road lately last night because someone was feeding them. So they're chasing the food, not the taxi, in fact. Okay. So due to the limited of time for the manner for online learning and for music and also for the team building, etc. So teachers are very creative. So we do the train the trainer mode. We want to promote teacher change as well so that they can see the learning potential of disadvantaged student and to multiply the teaching effect, teaching and learning effect. So compare with ordinary teaching strategies, it's easy to cater to learning differences, to build the strengths on what they can already do, and to fit in various kind of learning curricula. And the teaching-student relationship can be enhanced. So the learning content become more personalized, authentic, comprehensible, adaptable, and user co-constructed knowledge bank. And the teacher also observed that the learning environment is very collaborative, authentic, autonomous, engaging, self-directed, and also seamless because we use technology. And okay, so up to now we have more than 11,000 accounts. We serve nearly 20,000 teachers and students to teach 8 subjects. We also collaborate with textbook publisher, which subscribe our platform. So I believe that they're telling their own story, but it is more than a story. So if you are interested, we can share more details with you. This year, we are serving over 130 schools, 2 learning community centers, over 4,400 students. And these are the projects that we are now doing with Dr. Shum and other colleagues in various areas. We also started using the generative AI. May I take 1 minute to share how it is like? I do it last night. Videos capture the whole procedure. So log in. This is MLAN platform. Log in, and then when you will see this is the platform. I explain a little bit. The teacher and the student can choose which grade level that they want to have the comment, because at different grade level would have different expectation and assessment rubrics, and also the genre. A different genre would provide different comment, like the descriptive genre, narrative, argumentative, etc. Okay, once I choose the right genre, I can choose for teacher. A teacher can choose to comment the composition. So I just check from the website and copy a short paragraph and ask the generative AI to comment on it. So it takes some time to process. Let me move forward. We based on the assessment criteria provided by the Education Bureau and also the Hong Kong Examination and Assessment Authority. So would have the different aspect, the content, the structure of the passage, and the sentences, and the vocabulary usage, whether there are typos, and also the using of the punctuations, and the overall comment and advice for improvement. So the student can click which part they want to take a look and collect the feedback. So this is for teachers, for professional use, which is more detailed. And I can show you, it can also generate passages based on teachers' requests. And this is I also want to demonstrate to you how the student side would like. More friendly, you see a lot of emoji to make the comment more comprehensible to the kids. Provide more details feedback. We also compare with the vocabularies provided by the Education Bureau. Then the student can know how much how well the characters, the vocabularies that I am using really related to the stage of learning that I am now in. Oh, so this is the presentation of this is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Elizabeth. Hi, for your presentation. Now, I would like to invite questions from the participants. Is there any question?
Yeah,
Any?
there is a questions, Prof. Emmy from Anissa. She's raising her hand.
Oh, yeah. Mangga, Bu Anissa.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Elizabeth, for the presentation. I told you I'm going to come to your presentation because this is quite interesting to me. So my question is quite simple, actually, because you're talking about AI at the end. I believe that there are so many benefits that we can get from using AI, especially I think in terms of like learning language here. But my question is that despite of the benefits, of course, what do you think, what kind of policies or strategies that can be put in place to ensure that AI driven education is accessible and beneficial to all? And also, like what are the challenges in applying the AI in the language learning? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Thank you very much for the question. In fact, this is a hot topic in the University of Hong Kong and also 7 other universities. And we have a long discussion. Yesterday, we also discussed this with colleagues here. First of all, I think as a teacher, as a language teacher, we need to be up to date for the latest development of the technology. So I myself also learn how to use generative AI. And our universities is quite open in this area. All teachers has account, and without, I believe, without limit to access to ChatGPT. Students also have the right to use this, but with limited token. However, we also have policy to monitor this. For higher education, teachers are now revising the assessment criteria. Instead of asking students to submit essays, we now more encourage a higher order thinking training that they need to apply theories and to provide advice. This is not a direct access to ChatGPT. Therefore, higher order thinking task, application task, and analytic task is now what we are now doing. Like we ask students to analyze the learning difficulties of the student, giving them an authentic case study, and they identify the challenges, and they design the teaching activities with support of theories. And for primary and secondary school, our platform restricted the right for the student. They cannot generate content. They can only ask feedback for advancement. And the generative function is only for teachers. Therefore, whenever there are new technology, we need to know what is his like and have some first-hand experience, and then we can know how to adjust our teaching and make good use of the technology. Talking about the AI, we also consider it as a personalized tutor because it's patient. You can ask 1,000 times of question and it would not lose temper. But students need to learn how to ask good questions, because if you do not ask good questions, you could not get anything you want. So as a teacher, we also teach students how to ask a different level of questions. Students also need to fact check because ChatGPT would make up information. So it's like students need to understand the advantages of new technology and also the limitation. I believe this is a good lesson for them because online security is very important to protect their own information and not to believe one source of information to have triangulation of data. So this open up another way of teaching and learning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yao.
Law. Any other question? Pak Sudarsono. Oh ya, Pak Sudarsono.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Thank you very much for your word of encouragement. First of all, I need to thank my team. If you allow me, I want to take this opportunity to convey my sincere gratitude for their contribution. We have this is the structure of our social enterprise. MLAN is registered as a social enterprise since 2019. Received reapply funding and also received charitable grant money to support our work. So this is on the right hand side is our technology team. We have manager, AI expert, and software engineer. And because we try at the very beginning, we try to outsource the programming things, and like what we talked yesterday. I'm a dreamer. I'm not a programmer. I just dream what I want to have. So I'm very lucky and feel blessing that I have a team to support my work. We also have a research and implementation team because when we talk about pedagogy and integrating it into technology is something new for many teachers. So we need to teach the teacher how to do it, and we also experiment how to fine-tune our work so that it works in most of the school context. I'm so lucky that I have Dr. Shum as the principal researcher in our team to advise our work. We also have another senior scholar, Dr. Guan, and other colleagues with different expertise to assist my work. This is important because as educator, we know nothing about programming, but programmer also can't understand education. So we need someone to communicate these two parties. So what we want and what we collect from the school can really happen on and to become a useful function on our platform. So we do believe that having our own in-house team is important.
If I may have follow-up question, Doctor.
Yes.
So what is the role here of the teacher, given that this is application? What is the role of the teacher here? For example, in terms of the collaborative writing, how to manage that to happen?
Thank you. Teachers are very important partner in our work because they are the changing agent in the classroom. So we need to, first we need to release teachers' anxiety and also their workload. If anything we do increase their workload, the end would be failure. So this is important.
Exactly.
Therefore, we have an implementation team as their assistant. First of all, we ask teacher to provide the textbook, ask them to also provide the teaching goal, the learning outcome, the expected learning outcome. Then we talk with the teacher what kind of scaffolding that the student would need. In this then we apply the 4-level 3-step teaching steps to consider how much steps and what level that the student need to go through and to start from. This is like a tailor-made individualized learning support. Once student create the content, we can already crowdsourcing the knowledge, and the teacher can teach the student using the generative AI to collect some basic feedback first. So they know that after you finish an exercise, you need to check. Most of the students never check and then submit. They found this mission done. However, checking is important. If students check, most of the time, even for university student, they can increase at least one grade level. So checking is important. So help to build up this kind of attitude and habits. Then we collect the data, analyze students' performance. Teacher also mark the card, provide feedback, and also automatically generate some exercise to drill the student. And then we can collect the whole learning portfolio. This is an example of a language teaching, but it also applies in other subjects like maths. Identify the formula, the math concept that you want the student have. Ask them to create the card and then to explain the calculation procedure, etc. So this is what we do. So teachers' role here, I believe at the beginning, we need someone to assist teacher and to provide example. But later on, teacher are all profession. They know the student much better than us. So they will know how to make good use of the platform, and we can give them support whenever they need and provide professional advice if they want to. Of course, it can apply in Indonesia. If you like, we can further.
But it is in Chinese. As I see in the dashboard here, it's all written in Chinese language.
We provide English and simplified character version, but for Indonesia version, maybe we need your professional support.
Right.
I can be your student learning the language, and then, but to make things move quicker, of course, we love to have a partnership with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Sudarsono and also Dr. Lo. Any other question? How much time we have? Okay. Okay, we still have 10 minutes. We still have 10 minutes. So if you have any question, please. Pardon? No, later I will ask questions to Dr. K.
We in the chat we have question
Yeah.
from
Okay.
Fazri.
Who is it? Okay. So, okay. So the question is, are teachers or users invited to contribute to the MLang? How MLang is updated in terms of activities, types of text or materials, and assessments?
Thank you for the question. We open a subscription from school and teachers. We also do it proactively. We send out invitation letter, especially when we have funding from the government or from the charitable foundation. They have some mission for us. So we approach the school and invite them to join. So this is how the teacher, the way the teacher can use MLang. And for updating the activities or the functions, because this is like an app like WhatsApp, sometimes they would ask us to update it for the latest version. So it is relatively easy to send something new for the teacher because it's online. And for the text and materials and basically, we rely on teachers' school curriculum because we don't want to do something not related to the curriculum, because what we want to do is to help the student to excel in the formal education and not informal education. Therefore, we should always align with the school curriculum and also the exam syllabus, but we would not make it very high profile because our target is not only for examination. We want to use assessment for learning and as learning itself. So each MLang task, you can consider it as already an assessment, because after we teach a lesson, we give student homework. It is an assessment, in fact, but we want to collect this kind of data in a digital way so that we can check students' learning progress from time to time. If we have the data after the test or examination, sometimes it's too late because the fail grade are already there. However, if we can check it from time to time, just like a body personalized coach next to you and checking your health issue and remind you to drink more and eat healthy diet and teach you some exercise, then you can overcome all kinds of health checking and assessment. So the idea is also like this. During the pandemic, I observed that the whole world, especially the financial science,
lain gitu di talian modelnya, Mas seneng
are
beli nu.
already using big data. However, in education, we are very left behind. So I truly hope that with some innovative idea, this is just our very small test. I believe there are more talented people than me, many more talented people than me. They can also create this kind of good platform to collect students' learning data, so that teacher do not have a lot of donkey work, input the data every day, every exercise, and then ask expert to analyze for them. We hope that it is one-stop solution. And collect the data, collect students' performance, digitalize everything, so student cannot say I lost it. You never lost it because it's online on the cloud. you don't tell me you forgot to bring your textbook because it's online. You can always review it. So this is what we want to do. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Lo. Any more question? So, thank you, Dr.
Ibu
Fajri.
Sri Lestari, I think
Yeah,
she
Bu
raised her
Sri
hand.
Lestari. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Elizabeth, for the inspiring presentation. I would like to ask two questions. First, is this platform work in a
Sorry, you
limited?
only have 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
perhaps your
Yeah,
question.
all right.
Just one.
Is this platform work in a limited or isolated internet connectivity with low-end gadgets? And then the second, which curriculum is developed in this platform? If, for example, Indonesian schools want to teach Chinese, should the school follow the MLang curriculum, or MLang can be modified to the school curriculum? Thank you.
Thank you for very good questions. In fact, the youngest kids that we support are K3 kids 5 years ago, and for bridging to the primary school learning. So don't worry, kids are very talented in IT. They learn much quicker than us. And because I'm not good in IT as well, so the platform, the function is very straightforward. And I think 15 minutes, the kids would learn how to use it. And for the teachers, because there are much more function, and maybe half an hour or 45 minutes a workshop, they can learn most of the function. And for the curriculum, and if you allow me, I want to share an example with you. This is a school in Scotland. My EDD student, after graduation, he's now teaching in Scotland and a secondary and international school. So these are his kids. He asked the student to share what is your feeling before examination. So nervous?
Nervous. 紧张.
So it can fit into a different curriculum.
Uneasy. 不安.
I can't tell she feel uneasy. Sounds pretty lovely and happy. So what we do are all related or based on the learning theory and the students' normal teaching and learning process. So I believe it can fit into most of the school curriculum. In fact, we test it in a primary school setting, secondary school setting, a Hong Kong local curriculum, and international curriculum like GCSE and GCE. We are now also applying it to teach Chinese history under Dr. Sham's supervision. So maybe after this webinar, we can discuss further and see how we can support your work. Thank you.
All right. So probably we have.
Thank you.
Out of time. Yeah. All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Lo, for your presentation. The application is really useful, and probably we can also use it later, or we can develop a similar program or application to yours with the collaboration that we can make. So once again, thank you very much, and for your for your insights, and also for your sharing on what you have done to do with the use of technology in language education. And I would like to invite you all, the participants, to give a big applause to Dr. Elizabeth Kailo. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Law and Professor Emmy, for sharing a very nice insight about MLang application, which I think if we want to try to apply it, we need to have very thorough research in developing the program and going through our culture as well, yes, Indonesian. The next presentation will be delivered by Dr. Vinita Dewi and will be chaired by Dr. Dina Rahmawati. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Nika. First, I would like to check, am I audible and clear, Ibu Nika? Okay, thank you very much. A very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the second sessions of today's webinar. In this second sessions, Dr. Vinita Dewi will deliver her presentations entitled Reimagining TPAC in the Age of Generative AI. But before inviting Dr. Vinita for the presentations, I would like to firstly read her short profile. Ibu Dr. Vinita Dewi is an English lecturer at Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, Purwakarta Regional Campus. She holds a doctorate in English education, specializing in educational technology and teacher professional development. She has extensive teaching experience and has been working in partnership with national, regional, and international institutions as a teacher trainer. Throughout her career, she has been invited to speak at numerous seminars, webinars, conferences, workshops, and stadium general events. She also served as the secretary of UP's Quality Assurance Unit, in charge of national and international accreditations of study programs, as well as the internal quality audits. Aside from that, she's also the director of teacher professional developments at Indonesia Technology Enhanced Language Learning Associations, or ITEL. She is responsible for planning, developing, and organizing technology-focused teacher professional development programs for teachers throughout Indonesia. Her passion also lies in educational technology, the development of online learning materials, and instructional design. Dr. Vinita, you have 40 to 45 minutes for the presentations, and 15 to 10 minutes to 15 for the Q&A sessions. And for the audience and participant, if you have questions or comments, you can post in the chat box, or you can directly ask the questions in the Q&A sessions. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Vinita to start her presentations. Dr. Vinita, the screens and times are yours.
Thank you, Ibu Dina, for the kind introduction. Good morning to you all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hopefully I'm audible to you. Okay, first of all, I would like to thank Teflin West Java Banten, Prof. Nenden, for giving me the opportunities to be involved in this webinar, and also English Education Department of UPI. And it's a very interesting topic that you brought to us today, Dr. Law. I'm very fascinated with your presentation, and from my perspective, the way you design MLang shows how we as teachers, as educators, use our not only technological knowledge, but also the knowledge on the content, and also the pedagogy, and how we pack everything together and to leverage and enhance the language learning process. regardless of the language that we are teaching. So hopefully this, my presentation can bridge what Dr. Long explained previously. I'm going to discuss about how we need to reimagine our knowledge as educator, as teachers, or maybe some of you are pre-service teachers, how we respond to the age of generative AI. And my presentation will be discussing the first one. I'm going to explore a little bit about generative AI, what it is. Probably some of you are familiar with this and some of you are not. And then I'm going to touch a bit about the TPAC framework that some people already know. And at the end, we're going to see the potential, the transformative potential of TPAC in Gen AI in ELT. All right, but to begin my presentation and to walk you through my presentation, I will be accompanied by this teacher, Mrs. Susanti. I'm going to look at the presentation from the perspective of Mrs. Susanti. So who is Miss Susanti? She's a teacher from a far away land, known by her student and a colleague as a tech-savvy English teacher. And she likes to use technology in her classroom, and she heard that the world was being stormed by artificial intelligence. So Ms. Susanti think, what is that? I want to know more about AI. It might help me in doing my job. So let's help Mrs. Susanti to look at what Gen AI is. So let's get to know what generative AI is. But I'm going to ask you first, have you ever used one of these tools? We have number 1, ChatGPT, number 2, Google Bard, number 3, Bing AI, and number 4, Perplexity. If you have used 1, 2, 3, or 4, please write in the chat box. And let's see, which one is the most popular AI? All right. Putri, number 2, 134. Nurlai Lydia, number 1. LCFS, none yet. Oh, I'm going to introduce some to you. Don't worry. 1, 3, 1 and 4. 1 ChatGPT, 1, 3, 4. So I think most of you mentioned 1 because ChatGPT is I think the earliest generative AI introduced to public. And the rest, Google Bard, Bing, and Perplexity following ChatGPT. But look at that. Most of you mentioned 1, 2, and 3 are pretty famous. Number 4 is the less famous. So I have a quick statistic about how you know ChatGPT. Oh, Kak Mila, hi. You know everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks for responding. All right, let's continue. So another question that I want to know is, what was your reaction? You mentioned that you know, many of you know Gen AI, but what was your reaction? The first time you know Gen AI, were you shocked or worried? Or you fell in love at the first sight? Or you don't like it, you say, no, it's not for me. Or I know, you know a little, but you are ready to explore more. Just say it in the chat box. Tell me, okay, Bu Eka, you're shocked. Shocked and worried. Yeah, okay. Many of you were shocked. Love it. I love it too. Ready to explore. That's a positive response. Maybe at the first time you're shocked, but then you're ready to explore. Love at the first sight. Okay, Ibu Sumiati, ready to explore. Great. How about those who haven't tried? What do you have in mind when you hear Gen AI? You're in love with me? Thank you. Ready to explore? Okay. Great. Curious? Yes. I remember LCFS, you haven't used Gen AI and you're curious. It's good that you're curious. Anybody say that, no, it's not for me, I don't want to use Gen AI? So far, not. Hi, Buika, you are excited. Excited, thank you. And Let's see, how do most people react to Gen AI? We are going to see from 3 different perspectives: students, educators, and policymakers. I think you can predict what will be the student reaction when they knew Gen AI. From Dr. Lo's presentation, she mentioned that younger students, they cannot get access to AI which can generate content, but only for getting feedback. I think that's a great strategy, inspiring strategy for me too. Because with the smartness of Gen AI, students might think, oh, I can use this to finish my essay and complete my assignment. And this is what makes educators feel worried. If I give them task assignment, then they're going to use Gen AI to answer the question. Am I right? Am I right? Do you have the same feeling with me? And educators, they start to think, so if everything can be answered by Gen AI, then what do I need to do? What kind of task do I need to give? Or what kind of explanation do I need to give? So educators start to feel worried. And what happened to policymakers? At the moment, there is no established rules about the use of Gen AI. Maybe in the classroom situation or in the classroom context, teachers start to provide some rules on using Gen AI, but not in a wider scope. So some people, some policymakers think that, okay, let's just ban ChatGPT and don't give access to people. I think it happened in some countries. Like 3 months ago, I went to a country. I was about to explain about Gen AI. I'm going to use ChatGPT, but the fact is, in that country, ChatGPT was banned. So I was like frustrated at the time. Okay, so speaking of Gen AI, let me give you a definition of it. So it's a technology that leverages deep learning model. So it can analyze things, it can make summary of the content and so on. And it generates human-like content. This is what makes people shocked. This is what makes people worried, because it can generate human-like, not really human, but human-like content in response to a varied prompt. We can give prompt, like giving picture prompt or instruction or question, and then Gen AI can generate some human-like content. But I found another interesting, it's not a definition, it's an analogy from Misra. He mentioned that the best way of thinking of this technology, Gen AI, is as if they were smart, drunk, and in turn. Why is it smart? You can ask anything, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, many times, and they never get bored. They will keep giving you answers. Smart or sound smart, but sometimes it hallucinated. Maybe you also find that they provide fake information because they are drunk, hallucinating. And imagine that they are intern or your collaborator. So you can imagine that this is ChatGPT. Beware of the information that you get from AI, generative AI, but you can use this as a friend or a collaborator. Let's get back to the story of Miss Susanti. So knowing the vast potential of generative AI, Miss Susanti couldn't shake the feeling that, it was time to upgrade teaching knowledge. And he'd think that, Gen AI is super powerful. If I don't try to adapt to the rapid advancement in technology, my students might not get the most out of their learning experience. She sounds a bit worried about these changes. So let's help Ms. Susanti to revisit teachers' knowledge. We know before Gen AI came, long time ago, teachers should have pedagogical and content knowledge. With the advancement of technology, teachers now need to have technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. But what happened when we are facing the generative AI generation? Do we need to revisit the TPAC? Yeah, in a brief, when we talk about TPAC, teachers need to have technological knowledge. It means they need to know how to use certain technology, the technical things of the technology, the features, things like that. And they need to know how to teach certain content knowledge, language lesson, language features using technology, that's technological content knowledge. And they also need to know how to use certain pedagogical approaches, strategies, method using technology, that's technological pedagogical knowledge, and how to orchestrate or combine or harmonize the TPCK together to leverage the lesson and make better lesson for the students. Do we really need to revisit this with the changes in technology? Well, another statement from Ms. Ra mentioned that TPAC is technology agnostic. So no matter what the technology is, teachers should always have TPAC. And with the existence of Gen AI, we are going to see what kind of TPAC that teachers need to have. So the first thing that comes into Ms. Susanti's mind when revisiting the TPAC is, okay, I need to upgrade my technological knowledge. Ms. Susanti realized that to harness the power of Gen AI in her language teaching, she must first understand the technology itself. So now I will explore some Gen AI and see what I can do. That's what Mrs. Susanti said. Of course, you also want to explore technological knowledge. In technological knowledge, in the past, we only need to know how to use certain technology, and some technology are dedicated for certain purpose. Like for example, if you use Kahoot, you know that Kahoot is can be used to create interactive quiz, right? If you use PowerPoint, then you know that PowerPoint can be used to deliver your presentation. But now with the power of Gen AI, there are so many things that can be done by only one tool. So what we need to know as a teacher to improve our technological knowledge is understand the AI models. What kind of AI and how can I use this AI for certain purposes? Know how to choose the tools, which tools that I can use for certain purposes. And again, ethical consideration. What do I need to think about to consider whether I'm violating the ethic, the research ethic, and so on? So let's see. Different types of AI. There are weak AI and strong AI. What is weak AI? They are the AI that we know before ChatGPT. If you know Duolingo or Grammarly, they are designed for limited purpose, for limited context. You use Grammarly only to check your grammar. That's it. Grammarly cannot create sentences. They can only check your grammar or give suggestion. Duolingo, it is used for giving you tasks or exercises based on your answer. They're going to, Duolingo will level up the level of difficulties, specific tasks. The design, the responses are predefined. But now we have this strong AI. It doesn't have a pattern. You input something and you never know what kind of things that they generate. It always surprises us. And it has a more flexibility and can handle wide range of tasks. Some example are ChatGPT, Google Bard, and I'm going to introduce you with some other. I mentioned that generative AI will give you unique responses. Different prompt, different question will provide you with different answer. So that's the difference between weak AI and strong AI. Is one better than the other? No. It depends on how you're going to use it and for what purpose. And another thing that we need to pay attention is the characteristic of AI. The first one is protein. Proteins mean that it's Gen AI is versatile and transformative, and it can interact with diverse digital content. It means that you can insert text, you can insert picture, you can insert data, images, and ask Gen AI to analyze or give response to your prompt. And then GenAI is also opaque. So GenAI can execute or including the complexity of the input they accept, the extensive processing they perform, and the variety of output that they can generate. Another one that we need to know about the characteristic of AI is that GenAI is unstable. GenAI iterative generation process can lead to an unexpected result, while they're capable of innovative genre mashup and unique content generation. This model may also hallucinate and produce output that are not grounded from any fact. So we really need to be aware of this. Let's see some GenAI that you already know before. I'm not going to show you ChatGPT because most of you know ChatGPT, but ChatGPT can accept text prompt. We are going to talk about prompt later, but I will show you Google Bard. Maybe some of you have never used Google Bard based on my quick survey before. So I'm going to show you Google Bard here. And I will show you that Google Bard can accept not only text prompt, but also picture prompt. I have prepared picture here. I have prepared a picture of Little Red Riding Hood here. And I will just ask Google Bard to describe this picture. Help me describe this picture. Let Google Bard think a little bit, read the text. Maybe you can also predict what will be the description. It might take a little long, but yeah, okay, I got it. This is an image of a cartoon, Little Red Riding Hood and Wolf. Little Red Riding Hood is standing in the forest wearing a red cape and red dress. Look at that. So now you can see Google Bard can read picture. Let's try another picture. I have a picture of TPAC framework. So this is more academic. I have a picture of TPAC framework, and I'm going to ask Google Bard to describe this for me. Help me describe this picture. Maybe Google Bard will think a little bit harder because it's more complicated than the first one. That's why wait for a little bit more and see the result from Google Bard. So at the moment, ChatGPT cannot do this, but Google Bard can. You can also, sorry, I have to get confused because at the beginning I used the picture of Little Red Riding Hood. And the second I give the picture of TPAC, so it tend to connect the first picture and the second picture. I need more context. Okay. You describe about TPAC based on this picture. I think I'm going to skip this, let Google Bard think, and I'm going to move to another GenAI. So the third one is perplexity. Perplexity has different function with Google Bard. I will show you the different perplexity.ai. Okay. If in ChatGPT, you have to keep asking questions, but in Perplexity, they will give you some suggestion on what to ask. For example, I want to know more about TPAC. Can you explain about TPAC in generative AI age? Okay. It will give you the explanation and also the source. This is what I like about Perplexity, because it will give you sources. It's less hallucinating than ChatGPT. So you can see this is the source, and we can check the source. Oh, okay, TPEC and GenAI. This is the article that I read to prepare this presentation. Another resources, let's say number 3, and it will direct you to different resources. So Perplexity provide you with resources and also give you some possible questions. Do you want to know more about this? How can TPEC be used effectively to integrate generative AI and so on? So it will help you with digging further questions. If you get stuck, then Perplexity will be very helpful to dig more questions. Let's see what happened to my see now my Bart have explained about TPEC based on the picture that I gave to Google Bart. So now you know three different kinds of GenAI, and now you know how the difference between ChatGPT, Google Bart, and Perplexity. So let's go back to Miss Susanti. Now Miss Susanti knows about the different potential of GenAI. And then she thinks that to leverage the potential of GenAI in her English language teaching, she must not only understand the technology, so she know the technology now, but align it with language learning content effectively. How to align it with the language learning content? It means we need to revisit our technological content knowledge, how we teach certain lesson using technology. So when harmonizing GenAI and TCK in ELT, we can use GenAI for curriculum alignment. We can use GenAI to align the curriculum, to contextualize it with the students, to contextualize it with the topic that we are going to deliver to the students. We can customize learning materials. The term differentiated instruction is frequently used lately in Indonesia, and by using GenAI, we can easily provide differentiated materials for our students, and we can also deliver or create some adaptive assessment. So the thing that used to be a bit hard to be done in the past, now it's much easier. But then, of course, we as a teachers, our roles as a teachers is to evaluate the content generated from AI. We cannot just throw the prompt, get the result, and give it to our students. So our role is to analyze, to evaluate the content with the content knowledge that we have, then we know whether it is appropriate for our students or not. So GenAI can help us in generating teaching resources. We can create text, dialogue, exercise. We can put a text in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to generate key vocabulary, and then we can identify which one relevant for the students. We can generate learning resources, handout, interactive lessons, visual aids, you name it. You can generate many things, not all, but many things using AI. So here are some tools that you can use for teaching resources. I'm not going to show you all. Maybe later, if you get access to my slide, you can have time to explore it yourself. But I will introduce you to 2 or 3 of them that I love. The first one is DefeatMe. In the past, when I want to create different similar text for different level, it takes time for me to rewrite probably, or making it shorter, longer, more difficult, and so on. But now we have DefeatMe. DefeatMe is GenAI, which can be used to generate text. So I'm going to show you my DefeatMe. DefeatMe can create anything, like literally anything. They can create any text, or they can also take an article from outside and you ask to summarize it, or you can copy paste any text and ask David me to summarize it. Let's see. I have this text, Miko the monkey. This is text taken from British Council Resources. The text is pretty long. I will copy this. Oops, sorry. Not this, but I have to copy. So this is a long text. I think I want to make it short or summarize it. So I copy it. I put it in this, and let's see, and I will make it easier for second grade. Let's see what happened. Let's just wait for a while. Well, they're trying to think of how to make it shorter. So now you have a shorter text. Look at that. This is a shorter text. You can still adjust the length, edit it, or just copy it. And you can also get the summary of it. This is for you as a teacher, okay, to help you look at the text and see, oh, this is about Miko, the smallest, youngest monkey in the family. Family makes fun of him, and during flood, Miko bravely find food. So then you can check, oh, this is the story about. And you can also find some vocabulary, key vocabulary for you to teach to your students, to introduce to your students, maybe before they read the text. And you can also get some multiple choice, short answer, and open-ended. Of course, you still need your content knowledge to look at the questions, the sentences, whether it is going to be appropriate for your students or not. Speaking of Defeat Me, you can also just type any prompt and ask Defeat Me to create a text. For example, create a text about a girl who has an unforgettable childhood memory. And let's see what happened. It takes a little while to generate and see. So this is the text based on my prompt. Once upon a time, there was a girl, la la la, and a childhood memory. And you can also get everything that I mentioned before. So you may try Defeat Me and see if it is useful for your teaching. All right, now let's move on. Where was I here? To the second one. This is another tool that I love and many teachers love. I know many teachers love it. It's QReport. If in the past you are using a PowerPoint to create your presentation, but you have to start the content, QReport can help you create the content for your teaching. I'm going to use the topic similar to Defeat Me about childhood memory. So this is QReport. Actually, I have made one. Let's see if I can create another, because it takes a little while for QReport to generate. I'm just going to show you the example. I will go to my lesson. Later, you can get access to my slide and you can get all the link that I provided. So if you sign up to QReport and you click create lesson, it provides you with so many options. It takes a long time to explore. So I'm just going to show you one of which, full lesson. So the skill is talking about a memorable experience. And then the learning objective, I will say that English language learners will be able to share and talk about their memorable experience. And then I will click do magic. This might take a little while, so I have prepared one here. This is what happened when you click Do Magic. So you will get all the slides generated by QReport, just like this. What was your most fun childhood memory? If you're familiar with Mentimeter, this is similar to Mentimeter, but in Mentimeter, you have to provide the question yourself. In QReport, the question is provided by QReport. So ease your burden, teacher. Let's see another questions. Remember the good times when childhood. So QReport created a prompt, some other prompt. We have open question like this. We have, let's see what else that we have here. We have a poll like this. What is your childhood memory? Something you forget easily, a story your grandparents tell, a dream you had last night, or a special moment. Another polling. What is something fun you used to do as a child? Go to work, play at the park, do chores. So we can have many different kinds of activities like giving open-ended question, polling, generating answer using word cloud probably. You can explore and see whether you like it or not. And you can just pick. If you don't like it, then you can just delete it. If you want to adjust it, you can just adjust the questions. But it's good to have something as a starting point rather than thinking from zero. I think it's something that we can get to help our work easier. So this is from the result of my prompt. In one word, describe the most interesting thing you have ever done. Isn't that easy? Isn't that helpful for you teachers to get this lesson generated by QReport? Okay, so that's about QReport, and you can use your content knowledge to evaluate the use of those technology tools. All right then. Let's move back to Miss Susanti before my time is over. After knowing the technological knowledge and then the pedagogical knowledge, the content knowledge, technological content knowledge, now move on to pedagogical knowledge. Some teachers starting to think that, how can I teach using Gen AI? How can I make sure that my student doesn't cheat when they are using AI? I think one of the questions here in the chat is asking about how to prevent students from cheating from AI. So let's explore what kind of pedagogical knowledge that you should have. In the past, the pedagogical knowledge that we need to have is how we design a learning experience for our students. Now with the existence of Gen AI can be used to teach our students some lesson. And how about us, the teacher? Where is our position? What is the role of the teachers here? So teachers need to support learners in using Gen AI. We need to be able to be there next to the student when they are using AI. If we forbid our students from using AI, they will use, I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that our students will use Gen AI behind our back. So what can we do? Let's invite our students to use Gen AI together with us. So we can support them. We can help them understand the capacity of Gen AI. Let's evaluate the fake answers, the fake information, and the right information, and maybe compare with, if you have to answer that kind of question, what will be your answer? Or compare using ChatGPT, Google Bard, and Perplexity, the answer that they get, and we analyze. In that way, we ask our students to have critical thinking, critical analysis about the use of Gen AI. I put ethical consideration again here because we really need to think about that, and we really need to make our students aware about ethical consideration. taking something from Gen AI and recognize it as our own work, that's not ethical. So we really need to make them aware about that. Another thing is helping our students to be a prompt engineer. Giving prompt to Gen AI, Dr. Law also mentioned that the better the prompt, the better the output that we'll get. If we don't use the right prompt, then the output will not be good. So I have this little formula that I created myself on how we use Gen AI, ChatGPT. First, we need to mention the roles. Who is the Gen AI, or who am I? Maybe I'm a teacher, so I can mention I'm a teacher, I'm an English teacher in primary school, for example. Or you want the Gen AI to be the learner, so you can say that I'm an English language learner. Or you want Gen AI to be a journalist, you can say that I'm a journalist writing a report. So you need to set the roles of Gen AI. In that way, you will not get a common or a general answer. You will get a more specific answer. Context. Sorry. You need to define the context. What kind of context? I'm going to give you an example later. And then later is the task. What do you want Gen AI to do for you? And maybe I give you asterisks for this, the source.
Tangan kanan, hewan tidak. Tangan kanan. Udah nih. Itu dah nih. Hasil ganti gimana?
The host can help. Okay. Thank you. I think somebody from Makassar. All right. So we can ask generative AI to become the student's writing assistant or a discussion partner. How it works? Let's see. Do I have something here? Yes. For example, we can ask our students to write an essay about climate change. So together with the teacher, we can ask the students to write this prompt. Remember R? Do you remember R? R is the roles. I'm an English language learner in Indonesia. C is for the context. My teacher asked me to write an essay about climate change and the role of young generation. T, help me write the outline of my essay. Remember the outline. Don't ask the students to ask ChatGPT to generate the whole text. The outline, I think it's okay. So let's try ChatGPT. Let's see if I can copy the instructions so that I don't have to type.
Okay, so while waiting, sorry, Bu Finita.
Yes.
You only have 5 minutes.
Yes, I know. I'm about to finish my presentation. Okay, I still have 2 more topics to go. All right, I'm copying this and I'm going to ChatGPT and we'll copy the instruction and see what happened. So we get the outline together with the students. Then we discuss, or we can ask the students to use the same outline, go to BART and copy it, compare the answer from ChatGPT and from BART, and we discuss and ask them to choose, to think about which part are you going to take, why do you want to take it. So there is a conversation, a discussion between teacher, students, and ChatGPT. So we are a triangle now. ChatGPT is our teaching assistant. So that's one of the way we can use ChatGPT in the classroom. And we need to make our students aware that please don't generate any text, any essay, but you can use them as your discussion partner or as your writing assistant. So this is the final thought. Finally, she was thinking about the strategy to bring technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge together seamlessly. So Ms. Susanti said, aha, I get some ideas. So this is TPEC, the harmonizing of technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. And we can use it for holistic integration of what we have been discussing before, the knowledge of technology, pedagogy, and content. And making a dynamic adaptation of the lesson. So you can use Gen AI for teaching as this assistant, as study partner, tutor, test generator, feedback, or lesson planner. I'm going to give you one more demonstration of how teacher can use KeyPack for maybe this one, for a tutor. Oops, sorry. I will copy this and I will go to ChatGPT and create new topic. Please remember, when you use ChatGPT, if you change the topic, it's better for you to create new topic so that they don't mix up with another topic. So this is my prompt. You are an English teacher specializing in conversational English. I'm your student. So I put the role of ChatGPT as my teacher and I'm the student. I'm a student and my English level is CFR B1. We will engage in a casual conversation, alternating between questions and explanation. Or example, focus the conversation on the topic related to traveling. I want to learn how to talk about traveling, and please keep the conversation going on by keep asking me questions. This is the key. Keep the conversation going on. So ChatGPT will be my tutor. I will be the student. Let's see what happens. So first, he gave me with lots and lots of questions. I'm going to take one. Have you ever traveled abroad? And if so, where did you go? And I will answer. Yes, I have been to Vietnam. I love eating food there. Let's see what ChatGPT answered. That's wonderful. Did you have favorite place in Vietnam? What other Vietnamese dishes did you try during your visit? If we ask our student to talk with ChatGPT like this, it's not only they learn how to respond, but they also learn how to have a follow-up questions. So they learn the pattern. We can keep answering questions and ChatGPT will keep asking questions to us. After this, then you can ask students to work in pair, talk about traveling, and they might be able to recall the questions that they have from ChatGPT, ask the questions to the students. So we can use ChatGPT to inspire our students, not only how to answer questions, but also how to generate questions to other people. I think we have to wrap up. So this is the wrap up of my presentation. We need to look at the potential benefits of AI in education. We need to look at the content development and differentiation of materials. We can use AI for assessment design, timely effective feedback. You can put rubric or ask ChatGPT to create rubric, and you can put students' work, and you can get help from ChatGPT to give feedback to your student. Adding creativity or collaboration and skill development, and also another benefit is operational and administrative efficiency. But to end my presentation, we need also to look at the potential risk of AI, like plagiarism, academic dishonest, diminish students and teacher agency and accountability. That's why we need to have TPAC, so that we need to minimize this. Over-reliance and loss of critical thinking. This is the buzzword among people. We are afraid of the loss of cognitive skills and perpetuating social bias. So, this is the end of the story from Mrs. Susanti. Having embraced TPAC and equipped with a deep understanding of generative AI, Ms. Susanti lived happily ever after. She knew that technology, no matter how advanced, would never replace the genuine connection and guidance she provided to her students. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Giving back to Budina.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very interesting and insightful presentations, Dr. Finita Dewi. Thank you very much. For audience and participants, if you have any questions, you can post the questions in the chat box, or you can directly ask the questions to Ibu Finita Dewi. Actually, there's a questions in the chat box, but it has been answered. through your presentations. It's from Putri Rindu. How can lecturers still be objective in assessing the students when technology is used in the process of learning? In this case, who's doing the assignment for them? Any tips to assess the students' outcomes? Actually, from the presentations of Ibu Dr. Finita, the questions has been answered, but would you like to explore more, Ibu Finita or Bu Rindu? Do you have any comment?
Yeah, I think I addressed this question previously that we need to let our students aware not to generate any text essay. It's better not to generate any text or essay, but we can have the ChatGPT to be our discussion partner, finding ideas, starting our essay by helping us with the outline, with the draft. But then because we do it transparently, we do it together, so we are well aware of that the students are using ChatGPT in the beginning of their draft, and let them continue. For example, you ask them to write an essay, let them continue with their writing. If we focus on the process and we monitor the process, I think, I cannot guarantee, but I think we can minimize the plagiarism and we can minimize the bad side of the use of generative AI.
Yeah, agree with that. Okay. Comment from Bu Rindu. No more additional questions, Miss. Okay. There are comments from Bu Fitria. Now Miss Susanti has long hair. She must have been taking time to contemplate how to integrate TPEC in AI, generative AI. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yes, she has a lot of time to take care of her hair.
Okay, so harmonizing is the key, Bu Finita. That we harmonizing the Gen AI and also the pedagogical content knowledge. Any questions from the audience? We still have around 9 minutes. Okay, no questions. Okay, from Atya Adri, please.
Okay, is my voice clear?
Yeah, very clear.
Okay, so I'm sorry because the connection in my place is a little bit wonky, so I couldn't turn on the camera. But my question is because as we all experience, I think a lot of teachers and education policymakers are rather afraid of AI because they were like, oh, what if AI replace us and etc. But I think I am one of those person that actually really like AI. I really enjoy using AI because it can help me as, like, for example, a discussion partner, as you said. But my question is, how do you think we can encourage more teachers and more education policymakers to, to embrace AI rather than be afraid of them? Because I think it's really hard, especially for older teacher and people in policymakers to trust AI rather than be scared of them. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the questions. It's very interesting and it's very relevant to our context right now. Many people hate or afraid of AI because they don't use it intensely. Like maybe half a year ago, when generative AI just being introduced, I asked the same questions to teachers and they say, no, generative AI is dangerous, ChatGPT is very dangerous, it will make students lazy and so on and so forth. But what I did is walk through with them. Let's explore this a little bit. Look, Gen AI can do this. Gen AI can help you in some of these tasks. So many people think that Gen AI can only do one thing, generate essay. So when people want to make an assignment, make an essay, then they ask ChatGPT to write it. In fact, Gen AI can do so many things that can help us in making our job easier, lighter, and faster. But still, also walk with them to analyze the content that we get from Gen AI. That's another important thing. We discuss, we analyze, we look at how Gen AI responds to our prompt. Then we can see the what's it, the weaknesses and the strength of Gen AI. By knowing the strength and the weaknesses, then we can work together with Gen AI properly. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. So I guess more hands-on experience and training.
Accompany them, yeah.
Yes.
Sit with them, accompany them, explore with them, hands-on experience. It will be helpful.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
I'm happy to see LCVS. LCVS hasn't used Gen AI at the beginning of my presentation, and now she said I'm ready to explore and well work with them now. So yay, good luck.
Okay, if there's no questions, so we come to the end of our sessions. Please stay with us a little longer. Thank you, Bu Finita, for sharing your insight, and thank you to the audience for your active participations. Now I return the screens to the MC. Bu Nika, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibu Dina, Dr. Finita. That was a very interesting. I feel like the whole parenting session again, with you introduced this to your students as if you want to enter this. Do you want to know how long the rabbit hole goes, and you have to stay with them. It's very interesting to have that. Okay, so everybody, we are before we come to the end of our session, there are two agendas. First, there will be a token of appreciation given by Teflin, West Java and Banten, given to Dr. Loh by Ibu Professor Emmy. The host, can you? Yes, can we have pictures? Thank you very much.
Give me dulu.
Thank you very much.
Dibuka bukunya supaya kelihatan.
Ini yang belum di.
Appreciation for Dr. Finita. We also have here from Teflin West Java and Banten chapters should reach you when you are here. Thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we the next agenda is to have a photo session together. So if you kindly turn your camera on, we're going to have another photo session, and this is important for the committee to check on whether you have participated to the end of this webinar session. Are we ready? Okay. Ibu Emi, can we have the photo session? Okay. Okay, can we start? There are 10 pages. Please bear with us as we take pictures of 10 pages. Okay, thank you very much, Pak Hagi. Now, for another announcement regarding the certificate and everything, I'd like to invite Pak Lukman. Are you still here, Pak Lukman? Do you have any announcement regarding the certificate? Oh, Pak Lukman is not here. Do we have the attendance link? Okay, so I'm afraid Pa Lukman is not here regarding the certificate. We will recheck your attendance by sending you another link to your email, which you have registered, used to register to this webinar. And thank you very much for our extensive and extinguished speakers. Teflin West Java Banten chapter and Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia would like to extend our gratitude for your valuable presentation. We hope that this webinar provided you with useful information, strategies that we all can implement in our work regarding to the uses of generative AI in the classroom. Feel free to reach out our team if you have any other concern. Thank you again for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and hope to see you again soon. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, everyone.
Terima kasih kepada semuanya.
Thank you, Dr. Law. Thank you, Dr. Vinita.
Terima kasih, Ibu.
Terima kasih Ibu Vinita, terima kasih juga Ibu Nenden, Prof.
Nuhun, Ibu Emi.